Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Albers, and welcome to This Week in Anderson on the Big Guy Sports Podcast on USBN Sports. And as always, I'm joined with my co-host. I don't know if he's my co-host because he always takes my questions from me. Is Steve Ellis. And Steve, our next guest is a guy that you and I got to watch playing basketball, playing sports because we were freshmen. Kind of cool. Hung out with my brother Moose, so we got to see what a great athlete was. And I'm excited to catch up with Shaun Burdick tonight.
Well, I appreciate you having me back, Danny. I appreciate it. But I just want to say, first of all, we've been trying to get this guy on for a long time, and I'm so glad he's here. But a tremendous athlete. But I want to go on record to say that he played Division I football for UC, but there's no question that he could have played Division I basketball if he would have gone that route.
I totally agree.
I don't care what he said. I'm telling you, he was that good of an athlete.
I totally agree. We're going to get into that here in a minute. But as we said, joining us is Shaun Burdick. Shaun, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is awesome.
Yeah, well, we have been working along. Our schedules couldn't work out, so we're glad we're finally getting. I think the tailgating boys will be happy that you finally made it on because they've been bugging the crap out of me to try to get you on. But let's go back. We already know. Again, we got another talk back to days growing up, where you grew up, and what it was like growing up.
Summit, baby.
Yes.
Oh,
there we go.
Shocker. Where was Summit?
Was that got another one, Steve.
That's like 11, 12 in a row.
And a lot of times that you say with these Summit people, they've been great athletes.
Yeah, I know.
That's all I got to say.
I know.
Yep.
But you were from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good point. Good point. So talk about obviously in Summit, but talk about like growing up. We've already talked to the Harmons. They talked about you. We talked about just all in the Bonanza.
Yeah, we got to talk about that one.
Talk about just growing up and what it was like growing up in Summit.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, every time you walked around the corner, around the next house, you were playing ball, whether it was basketball, football, kill the man, which was awesome.
Nice.
Right. Yeah, and nothing better. And then tennis ball, baseball out on the corner streets. And then we lived in a dead end, so there's 5 houses in our dead end, and spent a lot of time punting and kicking in that stretch of road, but I used to aim at cars.
Well, you guys also had with that dead end there. Nagel wasn't there at the time, so you just perfect for you guys to play, do whatever you wanted to do. And then, like we said, you had the Benassis, and then Matt Bueller was down. The Buellers were down the road, so you had a lot of good people in that neighborhood.
Dave Giulio up the street a little bit, Matt Kelly, Doug Wise, and you just roll right on and down the Woodruffs, the Strickers.
Yes.
I mean, it was just loaded, and we were always just having a ball.
Absolutely.
It was all day, all night.
It was the one where you go out in the morning and your mom doesn't call you to come in for dinner, and then after that it's you don't come in until like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
See you at bedtime.
Did you grow up there? I mean, did you start there? Or your parents?
I think my parents bought like the 4th house or some.
Oh, really?
Yeah, thing like that. So I mean, it was the original. And it was the only place I ever knew. So.
Do you have any idea how much that they paid for that?
I think it was like $24,000 or $23,000.
Isn't that incredible? And that's just something to think about now.
Yeah, I was trying to think about that because when Mom and Dad lived in Linderwood, and they moved from Linderwood to where they're at in Clemson. At the time, I want to say it went up to like 40-something thousand.
Yeah, that was big time. Yeah, you're moving on up.
Big time. Yeah, it is Anderson Township.
That is true. Yeah,
I think we paid like $16,500 for our house. I mean,
that's crazy.
There's cars that are more than that.
No kid.
All right, so when you were growing up there, obviously, and you had all kinds of friends around there, but what youth sports did you play when you were growing up?
Soccer. I never got into football until I went to to middle school.
Really?
Loved the middle school.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes. The original.
But my mom wouldn't let me play football until I got into middle school. So it was soccer, I guess, was where I learned how to kick a ball.
Okay.
Wow. Punt a ball, whatever you want to call it. But played a ton of baseball. Baseball was a love. Played with the Cogans.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Sean Cogan from so I was playing up 3 years. I mean, when I don't even know, kids were 3 years older. There were seniors that graduating when I was a freshman that I played baseball with.
Really?
That's crazy.
Wow. And so
I knew no better.
When did you start playing basketball?
Somewhere in the Kiwanis world. There was never really a basketball league out that way.
No.
Ever. That I remember. I didn't.
It was all Kiwanis. It was just Kiwanis.
Was it Kiwanis?
That's the only thing I remember.
And it didn't start till like 5th grade.
Right.
And it was pretty crappy.
You're right. You played like 5 games, and that was your season.
So I mean, when you played soccer, what'd you play? Did you all the positions in soccer, or was you more?
I was a scorer. I don't even know what the heck you call
front
it.
line, up on the front line. Yeah.
You think with the kids that I have, I would know what the spots are, but it's like, I was up there and kicked it in the net.
Yeah.
So I have no clue. So.
Well, all right. So let's get into your high school days. Well, first of all, let's go back because you kind of mentioned the middle school days. All right.
Yeah.
So when you got to Anderson Middle School, which
it's just I love that.
It's
school.
like we need a moment of silence for that place because it's such a great place.
Yeah.
But what did you play there?
Football and basketball.
So you got into football there. All right. So who were your coaches for those sports?
Let's see. Football was Bruce Griffith.
Yep.
Senior year, 8th grade year. 7th grade was Mike Pierce. Is that the right name? Pierce was his last name.
Pierce. Okay.
Yeah. And then basketball was the ever popular Henry Pell. Seventh grade.
Yep.
Who Lance McAllister can share some thoughts on.
Stories about him.
Why did Lance get cut by him?
I think so, didn't he? Yeah, I don't think Lance
I actually got cut by him.
Did you really?
Yeah. They carried 15 people on the 7th grade team.
Okay.
I was number 16. Some kid moved halfway through the season, so he was like, you can stay up here.
Really?
Yeah, I barely made the team.
You didn't have an what was the name of that T-shirt place that he always wore those?
Velveteen?
Oh, Velveteen, yeah. I had tons of Velveteen shirts. I used to trade them for all kinds of stuff.
So wait a minute. So you got cut your sophomore year or 7th grade year.
Yeah.
But then your 8th grade year, you made it and played for Frickman.
Played for Frickman, and I think I was like number 8 on the line, down the line.
Okay.
And then I just kept getting better and better. I mean, I kept growing. I kept getting more athletic, if you want to call it that. I mean, grew into my body. I was young. I mean, I graduated at the age of 17. So you sit there, you can play high school sports now at 19, all the way through your 19th year.
Yeah.
Imagine having an extra, in essence, 3 years.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, holy crap.
Well, I think Moose was the same way. I think he was young for his age too.
Yeah.
I think he was a lot younger. So there was a couple of you guys.
There's a lot of us. Matt Kelly, Brian Neltner, Chris Lineberger, all of those guys.
Blame the parents on that one.
Shut them the hell out the door.
Yeah. We're done with them.
Yeah, they're nuts.
So into high school, you just played baseball or basketball and football. Did you do anything in the spring?
I did 1 year. I
probably should have done some high jumping or something.
I went to do that.
Okay.
And as I'm walking to go start high jumping, it was my sophomore year. I was like, I got to go start being able to jump because I had just started dunking.
Okay.
You remember the leaper down?
Oh yeah.
It was like
push up. Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm touching the rim. I'm like, I'm going. I'm going to dunk. All right. And so I wanted to high jump.
Yeah.
So I am literally walking across the track. And the baseball coach grabs me and goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to go high jump, I think, or long jump, or anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something." He goes, "You're playing baseball." And I said, "All right."
Wow.
Heineken. There we go.
Bill Heineken.
That's it. Yeah. So I go, all right, I'll go play baseball. So I did. I had it was just 1 year.
Okay.
I wish I would have kept playing.
Stayed with it.
Yeah. I really do. Because I mean, when I was younger, I loved it and just didn't have the speed that football and basketball do. So
they just start throwing those damn curveballs,
I got a story on that because I watched the Wolf one.
Yeah.
So I remember him pitching. I don't even know what the hell grade I was in.
Okay.
So he snaps a curveball off, and I'm like, oh shit, that's coming right for my head. I'm out.
Strike.
Yeah.
No, I'm on the ground.
Oh god.
And I roll over and I'm just doing this stuff.
Oh no.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. Nope.
I'm laying on the ground. And
catcher didn't move.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm like, all right, I got to go back.
Sean, he did that too when he came over to the house and he was screwing around. And I was like, Jerry can't be. I was freshman trying to be, big bad. I still did the same thing, man. I dove. I mean, it was coming right at your head.
It did. Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. That was good.
So Danny's gonna get into football, but I want to ask you about basketball.
Yeah.
So all right. So freshman year, who'd you play for?
Bud Lutterby.
Bud Lutterby.
See, and he coached you for a long time, but for some reason we didn't have him.
Yeah.
How'd that not happen?
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like he must have sat out a year when we were freshmen, and then he came back like the year after or something.
Right. Yeah, we never had him.
I'll be dogged.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
All right. So then sophomore year, Mike Center.
Mike Center, loved Coach Center.
Great catch.
Love.
Everybody loves Coach Center. Yeah. And then I guess you went 4 years with 4 different coaches. So then your junior year.
That was painful. Losing Sanders.
Yeah.
He was... That team was unbelievable.
All right, well, let's talk about it because you were on a team that was
arguably one of the best in Anderson high school history,
without question. I mean, a couple of teams that Frank said has been unbelievable, 19-1, but I think this team would have been much better, and I think Frank would admit that too. But I mean, that was just an incredible team to watch. I can't imagine being there, being involved in that in practice and everything, and obviously with the legendary Coach Sanders. In our eyes, I mean, we got to interview Coach, and we were like little kids, interviewing him.
Me too.
But tell
who I'm playing for.
Tell us about that time, at least like your junior year playing, with that team, and I mean, because you guys were like rock stars. I mean,
you guys were. Everyone.
I knew they were.
For even you guys. I mean,
but I didn't know.
Yeah, my God, we were just
every single game was packed, no matter home or away.
It was.
Tell us about that time.
Jeez, it was so awesome. It really was. And I guess for that team, I was the first one off the bench, big man, and I was the defensive stopper.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it was because of football, exactly what it was, but I was killing anybody.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't care.
Love it.
Even in practice, it was a very senior-laden team. So there's 20 of them and 4 juniors, and we don't deserve to be there, kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to kill somebody.
Right.
And I mean, I just remember times in practice that we ended up, I would get in a fight, and it was like suicides, and it's just, and I remember Sanders going off one time. He's like, he's out here, he's kicking all your guys.
Yeah.
Right.
F this. And
all
just lacing all of them because they were coasting a little bit.
Right.
And I was still in football, so I missed the first 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, whatever it is. And immediately off the football field, next day is like right in, let's go.
Yeah.
And it was
ready to kill
I had a very good high school career in football. Whether it was receiving, whether it was punting, whether it was kicking, never got to play defense, but it was, I didn't lose.
Right.
Well, individually, the team struggled a little bit, but I didn't like losing. So when I would go out, it was like, it's a battle. And so I'm running through picks from Ron Evans, who's knocking me on my behind, and I'm guarding Ferguson, who is draining it from 97 feet away. And it's like, I got to chase him down. I mean, I'm running. I didn't care. I felt I deserved to be on that team, to be starting, to be whatever. I needed, and that was me. I know you know that enough. I needed to be not necessarily the man, but I wanted to be on the court.
Well, that's the competitiveness in you.
I wanted to compete. That's all it was. So and we banged and banged and banged.
But how cool were those games, though? I mean,
they were awesome. They were, and you just didn't realize it at the time. I mean, because. And it was the same way when I walked on the field at Penn State, when I walked on the field at Auburn or Miami of Florida. You just walk out and immediately, I mean, you're sitting on the sidelines or in the stands, or you're walking the fields or the arenas, whatever you want to call them. You're like, God, this is unbelievable. God, this is unbelievable. Step across the line. I never saw anything. It was all between the lines.
You're locked in.
And it didn't matter.
Thank God, because we're going to talk about the Penn State a little bit later.
We'll talk about it a little bit later.
We're in a house like that. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm thinking, like, you played Turpin home and home, Oak Hills home and home,
McNick home and home.
I mean, those were just, sold out.
Mount Healthy. Mount Healthy was
unbelievable.
Loaded. Yeah. Well, actually, Davenport's kids playing over at UC right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So.
Jeez. Yeah, that was pretty cool. We'll talk about Coach Sanders.
Obviously, I loved him. I mean, he was intense. I was intense, and you don't get in fights if you're not intense. And you could be out there playing, but it's
something's gonna.
Yeah, and I would snap, and I mean, it good, bad, or different. I'm not proud of the fact that I'm.
But in some respects,
I'm bleeding all over today.
But in some respects, sometimes the coach is a little slow getting there to break it up because he's okay.
let's just say the whole senior class when I was a junior, we didn't get along very well.
Which is pretty standard.
It is. Especially when you're competing against them and you're taking you're competing for their jobs.
Yeah.
And
So
I fought a lot. So split lips.
So is this the one of the jerseys there? Look at that.
No,
Is that the
look
one
at
that just got that made? That's pretty sweet.
Awesome.
Pride and
Yes,
prejudice.
sir.
Baby.
That's right.
No prejudice, all pride.
So we interviewed Fergie and Joe Dayton and Frank, and I think they all collectively agree that at any point in time in the gym, the best shooter in the gym was Coach Sanders.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, no, but
That's
it
crazy.
was, so all those guys are like not buddy with them, but they're listening to instruction. I'm like, what do I do? I don't care. Just tell me. Go.
Yeah.
Right.
Point of direction.
Well,
I'm there.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's a great, unbelievable starters at least, but I mean, obviously, the whole team was really good. I mean, any given year, all those guys on the bench would have been stars.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, I just want to ask you a little bit about Joe Dayton because I consider him to be the best athlete to ever go through Anderson.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I
can't argue that. I can't argue that at all.
What was he like? Because we were in 8th grade watching him as a senior, and I'm watching his intensity, and I know he was a wild man.
Oh, yeah.
All right? And we'll keep it clean. But, I mean, just to watch him, and you could tell the other teams just feared him.
They feared everybody on that floor. I mean, they really did.
Yeah.
It was brutal. We would fight. We fought. I mean, how do you hang with no 3-point line 80 and 90 points a game?
Right.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Think about that.
I know, that's crazy.
It was nuts.
And Fergie would have set an unbelievable record because he had that corner all the time. You know, he just popping that every time.
Drove me nuts.
Well, I mean,
They were great.
Speaking
really
of fights, I mean, I can remember the one at Oak Hills where Frank goes flying into Hep Cronin, and they're like nose to nose, and Hep's, I mean, the coach, and he's ready to battle Frank, and then was it Dunaway that came over the top and swung at somebody? Something happened, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. And
Wow.
So do you remember the Forest Hills put on what did they, like a Turpin Anderson reunion game? Do you remember?
Yeah.
So I played in the first one.
All right.
And that was fun because Turpin brings all like the 20-year-olds and we're all the 80 and 90-year-olds, at least in the knees. But so John Deeds is there. And I ask him, I go, what actually happened?
Oh, that's who it was.
Yes,
it was John Deeds. I thought it was Tony Dunaway. It was John Deeds.
And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I said, you're behind me. Know what I'm talking about. He said, yeah. So, he went. We all went. And
had Frank's back. And
That's awesome, though.
I mean,
I love it.
it was like something out of Hoosiers.
it was. That's exactly what it was. And I'm sitting there, and you're like, did that really just happen? I mean, when you step back and you think about it, the next day, or that night, or 30 years, 40 years later, God, it's our 40th reunion next year.
That's crazy.
And you go, that's just nuts.
Yeah,
it is.
Who does that
I know it.
That's us.
Yeah, that is crazy. And like Steve was saying, you had 4 coaches or whatever, and then Sanders leaves to go to Memphis, and then you end up getting Terry Gordon.
Correct. Yeah.
I like Terry Gordon.
Yep.
I did too,
but I didn't. We didn't really have him per se as our coach, but I liked him. I had him as a teacher. Seemed like a nice guy, but that had to have been really difficult for you guys to lose Sanders and then he lost and lose all those guys.
We lost center.
It was a double.
That's who we all wanted. It was like, we want Mike Center.
Everybody wanted Mike Center. He deserved it.
Big time. And, I don't know the reasons behind it all. Whatever.
Right.
I'm sure it's diplomacy and
exactly
that crap anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It was strange. And he was only there for 1 year. So he was in, he was gone. But what he had was, he called it the Mean Prick Award.
Okay. The Mean Prick. I got to hear this.
I love it.
So all 15 guys, or whoever the heck's on the team. So we've got 15 in there.
Yep.
In the paint. And
That's what we did.
Throw the ball up.
And then everybody goes and gets it.
Yep. And whoever is the last man standing becomes the mean prick.
You want to tell them, Danny?
Pink panties? We called ours the pink panties.
I can guarantee you I didn't wear those. I was the mean prick.
That was good, man.
Our freshman coach actually brought a pair.
Yeah.
You couldn't get away with that nowadays.
No, you couldn't. No, but we did that. I loved that. I loved that.
Oh, heck yeah.
I didn't play.
Nothing.
And I loved it, you know. Oh, no, I didn't play that year because I broke my arm.
The freshman year,
Yeah, freshman year I didn't play. Yeah, that's right. My bad.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about Terry Gordon a little bit, but you guys obviously took a little bit to get going. You guys finished 14-7, I think, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
But you guys, towards the end of the year, were playing really, really well.
We did,
And you played.
Taft.
He picked Taft, if I remember right. It's what Moose tells me.
Yeah.
You drew Taft and played Kennard Johnson at Purcell Marion.
And
I will never forget that.
Had one hell of a game.
God.
Yes.
He had.
Talk about that game and playing against Kennard Johnson.
Well, it was obviously you're playing against the best guy in the city, supposedly.
Right.
And Chester pretty much lit him up. And, we became a very defensive-oriented team. We weren't dumping 60 or 70, 80, 90 points in. But we would shut people out for quarters. We did it against Princeton. I know there was another quarter or two here and there that we did it against. And so that was our mantra. And, it was a battle, and we banged. Chester
it was amazing.
Lighting it up from everywhere, and it's just like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Where the hell you been?
Where you been? That's right. That's right.
And I remember my brother. He did something in that game because I remember I almost fell off the bleachers because he either stole. I don't remember. He did something in that game. He didn't have a lot of points because Moose didn't play that. But I just remember how crowded and hot it was in that gym.
It was.
I love it.
And it was
packed.
And I think you guys had the ball with a chance to win and didn't do it. Or something happened. Am I right on that? Because you lost by 2. I think you lost by 2.
Yeah,
it was a real close game.
I knew it was real close.
Yeah, lost by 2, but that was
just painful to lose the game. But
but hey,
nothing better.
No, you never know what could have happened if you went on to do that. So, I had Moose. We went to Cleveland and we saw Kennard Johnson at the Cavs game, and I knew him. And I went up and I said, "Hey, do me a favor, sign this to my brother Moose and say." Something about the
Lucky
game.
you won. Lucky we won.
Yeah, that wasn't loosely like that too much. So let's get into football now. You and I both played for Coach Stowe. I absolutely love Coach Stowe. Just wish you would have had more W's. You played wide receiver and punted.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the guys that you played with, and then also a little bit about Coach Stowe.
Coach Stowe, I absolutely loved.
So
I really did. Nothing. To get you ready for a game, there was nothing better.
Right.
I remember just dying during two-a-days, and I'm like ready to go. I could have ran route after route. As a matter of fact, that's what it was. I think they tried to kill me and see if they could really do it or not.
Right.
It was like Burdick deep, Burdick deep. Burdick deep. And I'm like 16 straight go patterns. And I'm like, seriously? And he goes, well, we'll sub you in. No, you're not. No, I'm running. I don't care. I'm good.
Right.
Just. And I'm not blessed with speed by any stretch of the imagination, but from a prep standpoint and what it took to get ready to play, we were there. Now, X's and O's.
I'm with you.
Old school at Ohio State.
He was trying to do too much of that, and at Anderson, it just didn't
work. And we weren't a 3-yard and cloud dust team.
Right.
We started throwing the ball all over the place. We really did. I led the city in receiving catches, I guess is what it was.
Right.
Which, if you caught 3 balls in a season going into the couple of seasons before that, and it's like, this is nuts. I mean, we're flipping the ball 150, 200, 300, 400. I had 100-yard games on top of.
Yeah. Well, and you had Mike that came in, right? Before, I don't remember who would have been your quarterback if Mike didn't come in, right? I mean,
that's hard to say.
I know. I was sitting there trying to think about that, and I was like, I didn't know who that would have been, but I mean, Mike was a pretty dang good quarterback too.
I started at freshman year. I was a quarterback.
Oh, really?
I was the quarterback.
Wow.
And I dropped back. So you move into sophomore year, and I remember dropping back. There's a couple of really good stories from that aspect. I remember dropping back. It was freshman. No, it was sophomore year. So I remember dropping back one time. It was a 3-step drop. Piece of cake, right?
Yep.
But if you get hit from the left, from the right, and up the middle before you set up,
Oh my God. Oh, jeez.
I'm done.
I can't play. I can't do that.
For me, Pat McAnally was my hero.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Okay.
So, wide receiver, punter.
Yep.
That's me. That's what I wanted to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to go catch the damn ball.
Yeah.
So that's where I moved out to, and I had a little success there. So
Yeah, you did. Did very well there.
But so when I originally started punting, I was a barefoot punter.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Barefoot.
Like
I took my shoe off, like Carlos.
Carlos.
Except he was a kicker.
Yeah.
I would take my shoe off and throw it to the sideline.
for Anderson games?
For Anderson, freshman year.
No way. It's hilarious.
One time, as the quarter's winding down, I got cracked so bad playing quarterback.
Right.
Took the wrong friggin' shoe off.
Oh.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Don't ask me what day it is. I'm taking the wrong.
Thank God the clock ran out. I'm like,
that's
I'm
great.
switching. And then it was like, let's screw
That
this
is
from
funny.
now on.
That is funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a little rough. No, but we played great teams.
That was still
Mount
same
Healthy
thing.
was great.
Coleraine, Mount
Coleraine.
Healthy, Oak Hills.
I remember playing against Caddis, Eric
Yeah.
Caddis.
Yeah, Corning.
And I was sophomore, and obviously he's a man, and I'm
Right.
barely out of diapers, or at least that game I felt like.
Right.
But I remember, I think it was Jeff Harris got hurt, and he was playing D-back or something. I remember him picking him up and walking over the sidelines, like lurch, and like,
Really?
Oh.
Just put him down.
like, holy shit.
Wow.
I just crushed you, but I'm going to pick you up, take you over to the sideline, make sure you're all right, and then I'm going back, kill you again.
Dang.
And it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then Mount Healthy, I think, was number 10 in the state. I mean,
Really?
it was Moeller and Princeton.
Well,
we only had 2 teams go every year. I mean,
And they
that's
were
what it
all
was.
good, though. Oak Hill, back then, Oak Hills was
yeah.
good. Coleraine was good. Mount
They were
Healthy was
huge.
good. The typical at the bottom of that league was always Norwood, Anderson, and Forest Park.
And Turpin.
Forest Park wasn't good, were they?
No, they were pretty good.
Were they?
They were.
I didn't think they were that good.
If you look it up, they had some dude named, I think it was Pruitt.
Yeah.
I think we played in the state all-star game together.
Oh.
And I think he had 305 yards against us, if I remember.
Oh, wow.
He ran the ball like 8 times.
So the one thing that I've come to find out after talking to some people that we've interviewed and back in that era, and I've brought this up in the past, is that I think in that old Hamilton County League with the Coleraines and Oak Hills, that they were ahead of us, unfortunately, in the weight room department.
Oh, yeah. No
Oh.
doubt. We did across the hall. We
had
had
a
the
closet.
little closet.
It was a closet.
Yeah.
Seriously, look at me. You think I ever walked in there? It's like, what? We did what here? I'm playing basketball now.
Yeah, and you think
I don't
about
have to lift.
You think about all the athletes that've gone through that era. If they would have the access to the weight room
yeah.
like we have now.
Oh,
It made a huge difference.
No, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, back then it was the 200-pound bench club,
That's it. A t-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
good call.
and it
I never
was,
got that.
You
Yep.
think I did? No, I can do it with my legs. 100
Yeah.
times over. But this what?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. No, I'm out.
Well, let's talk about kicking.
Sure.
Because you were a great, not just punter, but you were a good field goal kicker, too.
I like kick. I personally think I was better at kicking than I was at punting.
Well,
crazy.
not that you played on the bad team, but I thought that gave you guys a great shot because you were able to.
You're going to punt or kick every
kick.
single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Well, that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
If you end a possession with a kick, you've done a very well, or a solid job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you want. And I could light the ball up.
Well, let's talk about one in particular game, and that's the McNick game.
I don't want to talk about my nickname, but go ahead.
The field goal that you made against
That was
them.
Turpin.
Oh, was it Turpin?
It was
Three. It was a 3-0 game.
3-0 game. That was
Okay.
Turpin.
Okay.
I think Nick, I dropped a ball that I should have. It
Okay.
was a 0-0 game as a as a junior.
That's right. It was Turpin. Okay.
And I dropped what could have been the game winner.
Okay.
What was that? Was the Turpin game the one where it was really muddy and crappy? You won another
It was
game.
always muddy and
There was a
crappy.
game that you won, another one. It was 3-0. I remember it was raining, pouring. It was crappy, and you kicked like a 40-something yard field goal to win the game. We won 3-0.
It was,
And I
know Turpin.
Maybe it was just Turpin.
Well, I thought it was the McNick game, but it was the Turpin game.
Turpin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was
you
the
would
first
know.
time we ever beat Turpin. Was that?
So I don't know if you know this. I might have told this to you a couple years ago, but that particular game, that kick, started the infamous Lucky Dollar.
That was that.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Your dad came up and told me all about that. He goes, man, I was rubbing this, and rolling around. I just want you to know this is it. And I'm like,
yeah.
All right.
Wow.
But and obviously tradition carried on.
Yes.
And it's still there today.
Yeah.
But my youngest daughter is on the dance team and cheer team, and she wears it for the events.
That is so
cool. My older daughter, Abby, wore it. My nephews wore it. Obviously, I wore it. And then there was a whole string of people.
My brother had it.
His brother. Yeah.
Timmy
Do you know what happened to Timmy when he wore it? Timmy had it taped around his ankle, and he broke his ankle.
He broke his ankle, and he was worried about when they were checking him out. His ankle's turned sideways, and he's worried about he goes, "Don't cut! I got that $1 bill in there." He's worried about the $1 bill.
We're worried about
attaboy.
And
now I'll be damned. I didn't know that.
It all started from your kick.
I did know that.
How about that? Start from your kick, baby.
I didn't know about it, and I remember your dad telling me about it. But it was just. I mean, you're day 3 of it happening or week 3 of it, and I was like, all right, whatever.
Well, yeah, you're a teenager, like, okay,
whatever, old man.
Yeah.
Whatever, old man.
But if it carries 40 plus years,
that's
now,
it's awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah,
that is. I didn't know it was still going on, so that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So as you were moving on into your senior year into basketball, how did the whole recruiting process start for you for football? And of course, I'm going to say it again, you could have played basketball too. But
I'll get back to that because I actually did walk on the UC team.
See?
Did you really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
All right. Well,
we'll come back to that.
Let's come back to that because we got to hear about that.
Yeah. Well, I can do it real quick. Okay. So I walked on. Obviously, he recruited. So it was Lavertus Robinson, Lou Banks, Ramel Shorter, basically Keith Starks.
Yeah.
They were all Prop 48.
Yep.
So my whole class that he brings in, for him, he goes, man, my whole class is ineligible. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
I'm done playing football. Hey, I'll come bang with you.
Yeah.
And I remember doing it. And obviously, I hadn't played competitively.
Right.
Other than those, whatever you call them, leagues, intramural leagues.
Right.
Which we would always, and it was always football team against football team. So we'd play and bang and go at it. But I walk on the team and you're on. You got a new pair of shoes. A couple of my friends like to tell me, as soon as you got a new pair of shoes, out the door you went. Almost
Did you, you quit or you just?
I wish I would have never quit, but I did. And the reason being, I was on the field. Pittsburgh Steelers came in and wanted to work me out.
Okay.
I'm going.
Yeah.
And coach rips my behind, Tony Yates. What are you doing? We got practice, or you can't be out doing that. You're supposed to be in the weight room or whatever it is. I just went, I'm kicking for the Steelers. He goes, I don't care. We're getting ready. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah,
I did not know
You
that.
can imagine where I went with
that.
Right.
Is that right?
I was like, yeah, I'm done.
No
just
kidding.
Out.
Because I remember that year because all those guys had to sit out, and like there were some games that they were only dressing like 8 players.
Yeah, it was awful.
So you could have played. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I actually was supposed to get in a game. They gave me an illegal number 2. That was illegal at the time because 2 was 2-point basket.
Oh, referees.
Right.
Okay.
So you couldn't.
Okay.
Obviously, the world's changed.
Yeah.
Ridiculously. But even on the sports field.
Yep.
Now you can be 2. Now you can be 1. Now you can be all double zeros and whatever. So they said it was an illegal number, and everybody else played, and I sat and watched. And
wow. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So obviously now I'm ticked off a little bit.
So did those guys did they get to practice? All the
Prop 48 guys, did they get to practice?
Banks and all those guys, did they get to practice or?
I don't think they did.
They weren't allowed, probably?
Yeah, I don't think they were allowed to be a part of it at all. And I remember, practices, it was kind of the same way as it was when I'm playing against Dayton and Ferguson and Evans and Dunaway and Brandy. And it was like, all right, let's fight. So it stiffened, and Jeff Flynn and
Jeff Flynn.
God, I can't remember.
Myron Hughes.
Myron Hughes was there. Keith Henry. Is that the right?
Yeah, there was a Henry. Yeah, you're right.
Was Puffy still there?
No,
he was already gone.
Geez, how old are you trying to make me?
He was left-handed point guard. What do you want?
That was the coolest dribble.
He would pound it in the ground.
You know why that was, don't you?
What?
His ball that he had head was so flat that he had to pound it that way. When he was
really?
growing up. That's why he dribbled like that.
Oh, really?
That's funny.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
what
know
it
that.
was.
That's why I did too,
That's what
Steve.
caused it.
Yeah, you did do that.
I did dribble pretty high.
Pounded
Yeah.
with his tongue out.
So so I would out, and I just remember knocking guys around, and it's like Cedric Glover was another one.
Cedric
Oh,
Glover, yeah.
yes.
He's a big
Nice.
boy.
Big said, yeah, he was, but I'm getting block shots against them. I think we had a scrimmage, and it was like, yeah, I'm keeping score. You're not
Sure.
supposed to, but I hung like 17 on Flynn, who was their big dog recruit.
Yeah.
I just. And then, so I'm like, all right, I'm doing all right. Getting the feel of it, getting it back a little bit, blocking a few shots, playing defense, whatever. And then it's like, hey, you can't go punt for the Steelers.
That's unbelievable.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, my gosh.
That's crazy. I did not
didn't
know that story.
That's a great story.
That is a great story.
So
Damn it,
was-
Tony Yates.
Yeah.
We won't go.
Yeah, Tony,
Yeah.
come on, Tony.
We can talk later. There's all kinds of we can talk later.
All right, so let's talk about the recruiting process. How all of that worked, and what schools were you talking
I
to?
had a list of 5
Okay.
that I had no knowledge of, and I'll explain that a little bit later. So Austin P wanted me as a wide receiver, punter, and a kicker. Toledo wanted me as a punter, kicker, and possibly wide receiver. They'd take a look at me.
Okay.
Syracuse, strictly a punter. UC, and where the heck else did I get? Oh, Akron. And Akron was like, yeah. I walked up there, saw the rust all the way around the buildings and holes in the building. It was like, I'm gone.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Akron was horrible. I mean, you went, everybody's an inner city school. Even UC was an inner city school. Toledo was an inner city school. But I fell in love with Austin Peay, if you want to know the truth.
Okay.
But then mom and dad were like, you ain't going there.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with any kind of degree out of there? And I'm going to play football. So, but so wanting to be more than just a punter or kicker when you're out there, obviously competitive juices, you want to be that. When I went to UC, so I went up to Syracuse, enjoyed the living heck out of that. I tried to parlay that with but the scheduling didn't work because of our basketball season. But we had like an off Saturday or maybe even a Friday where we didn't play that, and I was able to get up there. It was over Christmas break. That's when it happened.
Okay.
But I was trying to get up there for a Syracuse Georgetown basketball.
Oh, how cool would that
That's what he
have
wanted.
been? That was back in the heyday, too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And my guy was the assassin. Yeah, Michael Graham, if you remember that.
Sure, oh, yeah. Bald.
And, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and he was. And then I think Ewing was still playing. And then Derek Coleman was over with Syracuse.
Derek
He was like,
Coleman.
I
he was the Shaun Burdick.
Wow.
Yeah, he was.
He
was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, I tried to parlay that, and it was like, and I had it, and it's like, yeah, I got a basketball game, I can't go.
Oh,
Which I wasn't going to miss. I mean, there's no way I'm selling that out.
Right. So how did it work out where you ended up at UC?
So we had a tryout. I didn't know that that's what we were doing, but they're like, hey, let's go into Carrier Dome. And I went with the guy that was the punter from the year before, started lighting a few balls back and forth. I didn't have a very good session.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, we're good. And who knows if I would have gone there or wouldn't have gone there.
Right.
Obviously, it was a great place, all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, it was a bigger deal than UC was.
Sure.
Wouldn't trade anything for what I experienced in UC. I mean, there's, I've talked to people that have played at different places, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, just all over the place. Mm-hmm. What we had at UC, as a matter of fact, next weekend, 20 guys are getting together and playing golf.
I love that because I remember you telling me about that, how you do that, and we talk about that a lot. That is the coolest thing I think. That is really cool.
And this is like year 38 of it.
That's awesome.
And it's just over and over. And we've traveled. We've gone to Dale Hollow. We've gone down to Hilton Head. But it's about us.
That's awesome.
All that group.
It's all of us getting together. Billy Davis has been there, who's linebacker coach now. He been defensive coordinator 3 times in the NFL.
Wow.
Urban Meyer's been to a couple of them.
Wow, that's cool.
That? So Urban Meyer. It's like, hey.
Yeah. Let's compare checkbooks.
That's what he did. That was Urban Meyer's time on the field.
Yes.
That's funny. Oh, that's good.
So
he learned how not to coach when he was at UC. That
Well, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
Dave Curry.
was bad. The one that still kills me, Steve, was the one he told me about. He told me one time about the locker room. We did the nuts and what is it?
So we're playing Miami of Florida, the number 1 team in the country.
Oh, yeah.
My senior year, they're at Nippert right after we get through all the pregame ceremonies and all that, and saw somebody's leg sticking through the stadium, hanging into our training room. Somebody fell, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you like walk in, it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
That's a lady's leg. And it was like, it wasn't the best facility in the world.
Yeah.
But, he's given us, so we're pregame. It's like, all right, number 1 team in the country. You don't have to say shit to go out there and play against them.
Right.
Let's go. Well, boys, they're bigger than us, and they're faster than us, and they're stronger. They're just better. But if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, what a wonderful world it would be. Let's go get them.
Boy, that fires me up. That fires me up.
Busted out laughing.
Oh my
You wouldn't believe. I'm like, and I grab a buddy of mine. Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah.
What the hell? We're laughing. I'm rolling out.
Oh my God.
I'm rolled out of the locker room. And and then we get up, and they're kicking off to us to start the game. I remember, God, and they were so loaded. I mean, it was Michael Irvin, and the Blades brothers, and as a matter of fact, I think it was Blades came over, and I just happened to be standing next to Curry, and we kicked off from 35. So, coach is right here. I remember him coming over, and he goes, "You bald little ass, we're gonna kick the shit out of you today."
Oh wow! Yeah.
Oh shit!
This is real. God,
I didn't care because I'm, 4 years of it is like, let's go.
Right.
Yeah, you might, but. We'll find out. Well, they did, but it did. Well, after the first couple of series, we kind of settled in and held our own with them for quite a bit.
And then it was what? What was the scores?
I think it was 45-14, but it was like 21-0 after like 3 minutes.
Right. But then it was kind of
hell just happened.
So talk a little bit about playing at Penn State.
Oh man, for me, that's the Mecca.
Okay,
that is by far the Mecca. I've been at Michigan. I've been at Ohio State. I've been to the Orange Bowl. I've been to Auburn. I've been to Alabama. I've been to. What else is left? I mean, there's not much left. I've been at Oklahoma, and it's just. And this is a freshman year, so it probably was. They're defending national champions.
Exactly.
And I'm like. All right, I'm in. Whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember so you get on the bus, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So we drive up there, and there's like 1,000 RVs out there, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
And it's early.
RV convention? Yeah, it's the day before the game. And, so we got to fly up, and it's the very first game of the year. So they're coming off a defending national champ, and we're like, sure.
Right.
I knew no better. I really didn't. I remember the gentleman's name was Bill Thomas. Sitting down in the end zone, I'm like, all right, we got done with practice. Where do I go? And I go, all right, I'm going to sit down here. And he goes, and I remember him looking at me, and he just goes, we're going to shock the world tomorrow. I go,
really?
The dude's 6'8" and 300 pounds. I'm like, all right, I'm with you. I'm good.
Whatever you say.
Don't say no.
I'm in.
Yeah.
But I remember pulling up to that place, and it was like, so it's kind of on the crest of a hill.
Right.
I forget what the mountain range is called. Not that it's a mountain range. A hill range is probably what I would call it. But then the stands just went forever and forever. And then it was the clouds.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
And I'm just like, it's like God's watching.
Right. Right there.
He built this, and I mean, it was the most picturesque setting to me in the world. And I'm sure because it was the first game and your first experience at that level,
you had to crap your pants. I mean, you're seriously, you had
there ain't any doubt about it.
You're punting at Brown Stadium when you have 25 people there, and you go there, you're in front of 80. And I mean, I would have just crapped my living pants. I would have.
Well, I prefaced it earlier. Remember what I said? The second you walk across that line, everything else is gone.
Yeah,
I know, remember. But still, come on.
I did. I seriously.
Wow.
What the hell am I doing? I'm looking up and I'm looking. I mean, you're punting.
But like, you had a great game. I remember watching that.
Yeah, it not bad for a freshman. It wasn't bad.
Didn't you have like one punt that was like 70 yards or something?
Shit, I don't know. I doubt it, but I don't know. I did not have a good freshman year, but that was a good
I remember watching on our box TV. Our floor model.
You had to go turn the channel. You had to get up and turn the channel.
I fixed the antenna.
Move that.
You had to get up on the roof. No, I do remember watching that.
Yeah, it was.
I do too.
It was
incredible.
God, it was awesome.
I just can't. I'm sitting there thinking about like that for me, like, oh my God, Shaun. He played at Anderson, and here he is. And,
he was just kicking on Yellow Glen.
I was nervous.
That's what it was.
I was nervous for you. I mean, I was like, God.
The second I walked on the field, everything just disappeared. It really did.
That's good.
Nothing mattered.
And then you win.
And we won, and it was like, I'm like, all right. It all went downhill from there.
Well, I was gonna say,
I mean,
did you have to like have a police escort out of there?
That was the coolest thing. I'm like, so we're sitting in the bus, and all of a sudden, all the bubblegum cars are flying around, and they're stopping traffic. I'm like, this is cool as hell. I run up to the front seat, and I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I'm a kid in a candy store. And it just, I knew no better. I wasn't worldly, I guess. I mean, I'm used to going over to that other school across the district.
We won't say anything.
Bartles Road.
That's better. That's better.
That group. So so I mean, awesome. It really was.
That had to be crazy.
Incredible.
That's the pinnacle of my college career.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it all went down. So we come back and we play Oklahoma State after we're playing Penn State. Oklahoma State has Thurman Thomas in the backfield, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Wow. Played against Vinny Testaverde. Won a Heisman Trophy, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Yes.
Remember a guy by the name of Bo Jackson?
Yeah. Auburn. Yeah.
Man, he ran the hell all over us. 60.
And you had some great games, man.
On the same field with all these guys.
Yeah.
So
Kozar.
Wow.
Holy cow.
No, you can just say, you played Miami of Florida? Holy crap.
Start naming everybody.
That's pretty cool.
It's sick.
Yeah, that is
it really is. It was awesome. It really was. But it is what it is. And you move on to the next phase of life.
You can say you played against those guys.
That's exactly right.
It was awesome. I mean, I knew no better. The group of guys that we played with and banged with, wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wouldn't you love one more game? No, these guys, lifelong friends.
Yeah, that's
always
awesome.
Be. Same with high school guys. Lifelong friends.
Yep, totally agree.
Yeah, so we still hang together.
That's right.
Yeah, they're part of our tailgate group there. Yeah. Julio and Wise and all those guys are there with us, the Mike Benassi and my brother, and so we're all there together. But let's talk about after college. Now, if I'm wrong, just let me know. Did you try with the Cowboys? Is that correct? Or
let's see. It was the Bengals, the Browns, Tampa Bay, and then Dallas, and then I had a couple other things. That was training camps. Those were 4 training camps.
Were you close close with the Cowboys of making it?
That was, I believe, the closest one that I had.
Yeah, because they kept that veteran Jet, I think his name was.
It was Saxon, who was a year removed from an All-Pro year, and it was Jimmy Johnson's first year.
Okay.
And I remember, Jimmy Johnson's first year, but also Jerry Jones' first year. So I remember Jimmy when he goes, hey, we like what you do. We love what you had a great camp, all this kind of stuff. What they ended up doing to me was they cut the place kicker that was going head to head with Roger Ruzek and said, you're doing that too. So they saw me kick and just like, you're in, you're doing that. I mean, I could bomb from, I'll get back and tell that quick little story. So, but he goes, we're a year removed with an All-Pro. This is the first year. We'll get run out of town if we kick an All-Pro out of here and bring some slap happy ding-dong from A-Town.
Listen to you.
But that was, I felt that was the best one. And there was a couple other goofy scenarios. I went for a tryout, put my best set that I think I ever had in my life. I averaged like 58 yards, 5.2 hang time.
Nice.
Go look it up.
Wow.
I think the NFL average was 40 yards and 4.1 or 41 yards and 4.1 hang time.
Wow.
And, you put a set together like that. And it was up in Detroit. And they go, that's not really what we're looking for. And I just,
Whatever.
I am so effing done with all this. Because that was like tryout number 15.
Okay.
And I was like, screw it. I'm done. F all of you.
Right.
You want to do it. You want to keep playing. But it was obvious that it just...
the political bull crap that went on.
If you want to call it that, obviously you got to perform on the field, and sometimes you get the chances. Sometimes
think about
you don't,
that. Could have been a world champ too. Football, if he would have.
I'd have had 3 rings if I was in Dallas.
Yeah, holy cow!
And he wouldn't be sitting there talking to us right
That's right.
Where else would I be?
We would have had to pay him to come.
That's right.
No, hell no. There's nothing better. This is. I'm telling you guys. Doing this is awesome. And I don't know if anybody else that really even does this. You would know if.
Well, we appreciate it because when we first started this, Shaun, we were like, we'll just see how it goes and see what happens. And it was around COVID, and we're just like, And then the more and more we're out, we'll go somewhere and we'll see someone will run into him and see like, man, I watch your podcast of this. I love it. It's like, that's cool. I mean, that's why we do it. I mean, that's and for everybody to catch up with everybody. And my brother's still a little mad at me right now, Moose, because he hasn't been on yet. He still feels like he needs to be on. I told him that Ryan was going to get on before he was.
Oh my gosh.
And he didn't like that.
That's fighting words.
He didn't like that. So
I think you should do a group. It's like, hey, anybody from class 83, come on in here.
Yeah, I gotta find enough. I gotta find enough mics for that. My God.
Hey, we can fight over it.
Just all sit right there, right each other, and just kind of move it around and
that would be fun. So that'd be a lot of fun.
Shaun, your kids played sports. I know Mackenzie ended up at Anderson.
Correct. 2 oldest ones went to McNick. We lived over Glen Estee School District, and we're not going to Glen Estee.
Right.
All right.
A little rougher than what I was hoping for.
Okay.
Curriculum-wise, everything else is just.
So
they needed
did a McNick route.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know for 2 of them, it was the best thing they've ever done. I even tried to get my son to step away from McNick, and my daughter ultimately did.
Yeah.
But he was ingrained. He loved what he was doing and who he was doing it
and
with.
his buddies and all that. Yeah.
And
he had a great career.
He did.
Great career.
Yeah, he did all right. So he had fun, and obviously now. It's hard to believe, but now he's at UC, so.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It kind of ran in the blood. He wouldn't have looked anywhere else. His sister went to McNick and was like, hey, dude, let's go over and look at Elder. Let's go look at X. Let's go look at Moeller. You want to check all these out.
Yeah.
I mean, you have options. So he went to GA.
Okay.
So everybody looks at
where
you're going to go from there.
Right.
And he's like, I'm going over there. And I'm like, no, seriously, you got to go over here and look, see what's out there.
Yeah.
He goes, no.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good for him.
This is where I want to be.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I was able to at least talk him into a football camp over at Elder. He had a couple of buddies that went over there with him, and he did well. So, but it was good. I'm going to McNick.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He loved Monahan. Never had a chance to really interact with Orlando beforehand. It just how things were done. So he loved it. I know he did, and he gets to stay played in the GCL too. So
that's true.
Good point. It's pretty good. Well, Mackenzie's transferred over senior year, right?
Junior year. Yeah. So she played basketball.
Oh, that's right.
2 years.
She did,
and then
that's awesome.
She was in whatever that soccer stuff is, where you can't play high school, and she's locked into flying all over the country to play games, and it was just like, this is nuts. But but that's where it's gone. But she absolutely loved being at Anderson. She really did. And some of the fondest memories, and I know we talked about it beforehand, was just
the corner kick.
You'll have to put that on there. I don't know if you can do that or not, but it's just like, it was
the perfect corner kick
to Abby, and then Abby scored with like 12 seconds to tie it up in the district finals.
And I'm sitting up in the stands, and I wouldn't hang with the parents, so the cameraman, and I know you know who it is. I can't. Is it John?
John,
Stiff.
Yeah.
And he's up there, and we're shooting the breeze and probably halfway paying attention to the game, because that's, we're just, you're watching it, but you're BSing back and forth around. Right. And all of a sudden, if you have the video of the team video of it, he just starts going, I grabbed him.
That's awesome.
So, I got more excited for my kids and everything they did than I ever did myself. I mean, for me, it was just, all right, what's next? And you just made a field goal to win a game. What's next?
Right.
Now, she was awesome. And she went down to EKU.
Yep. Still down there playing soccer and having a ball. So
no, she was great. She was on a great team.
Yeah, they were.
They won the league and everything. It was just really special.
Yeah, it's all. And then we briefly talked about this. That we talked about. You obviously you stay in touch with all your guys from college, but I think it's really cool. It's just like how Steve and I are still been friends for a very, very long time. You're still really good friends with, Julio and Wise and all those guys that we tailgate with. Kind of cool that we're all still kind of connected with all the same group.
No doubt about it. And we got guys that live in Seattle that we're still connected with. I mean, it's I'll text out there at 2 a.m. We've got a group text scenario.
That's hilarious.
I know he's up, or it's 5 a.m. here, it's 2 a.m. out there. I'm waking his behind up.
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool too. That's just like like you were obviously older with my brother and that, but like Mike Benassi's with us, and so that group is there too. My brother Timmy, and then we get everybody that comes. Everybody knows where we're at.
Oh yeah.
So we got. I mean, our parking lot in our area is it's a mess.
You can't walk through it. You got to get there 3-4 hours early, and you can't get through it.
Yeah,
it's awesome. So
it is cool that we keep. So we're gonna go ahead and try to wrap this up. So we're gonna hit you on the spot here with your favorite memory. So we're gonna do your favorite high school memory, and I think we might know your college, and then maybe give our favorite teacher or coach. So let's start with your favorite memory in high school.
Favorite memory in high school? Geez. We had some good ones. There's no doubt about that. I just
see basketball or football. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard. I had a love of both and a deep love of both.
Right.
I mean, but football's king.
Yeah.
Football is king, and being in essence, obviously it's a team game. I get that. I know it's a team game. No way in heck I would have ever done it myself, but beating Turpin for the first time ever.
Absolutely. Gotta love it. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
If I could call it Turpin, that other...
Yeah, the other school. The other school. Yeah, I agree. No, I agree.
The junior school. Elementary school. I'm trying to remember.
Spoken like a true Redskin.
Yes, exactly.
I can tell you this. We never lost to Turpin.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's pretty big. We've had a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's pretty awesome.
Even when we played in that, what was that? That
alumni?
The alumni
game. It was like,
against the younger guys?
Against the younger guys.
Still won?
And we still won.
Yeah.
It was like... And I remember going out in it was Sanders coming back, and I don't remember Barta.
Yeah, and then Center came back too for that.
He was there with me. Yeah, we were all together, and I just remember walking as we're doing layups, and I go, "We ain't fucking losing. We are not losing. I've never lost to him. I'm not losing.
Yeah,
and
after all this time, we're not doing it.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, this is the greatest thing. Blah blah blah. Everybody's patting everybody on the back. I ain't losing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it is.
So we banged, and man, I'm telling you, the 76 Redskins, I can't remember all Elliott and I.
Oh, yeah, those guys are good. Still good. Becker.
Campbell.
Oh, God, were they good.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, it was just a privilege to play with them. It really was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any better.
Well, there was like 4 guys in that you're talking about. They all went and played Division I basketball.
Yeah, I had no clue.
Yeah.
I had no clue. I mean, when you're a little kid and you don't get the paper and you don't have internet and you don't have...
a little different. Yeah.
You don't have... black and white. You have black and white TV. You don't have color TV.
Right.
You don't know these things.
Right.
Sure.
What was it? One game a week was all that. Football.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Right.
Baseball too.
You got to watch Anderson, you got to watch Ohio State and Michigan. And then it's Oklahoma and Texas this week, and that's all you got.
That's basically it.
It sucked.
Yeah, it's totally different. So that's good with the I love the beating Bartles, and then college is going to be Penn State game.
It has to be Penn State.
I was gonna say.
It went slowly downhill from there. I mean, it wasn't a total crash fest, but it was. How can you?
I don't know how you can beat that.
Was Curry your coach all 4 years?
3 years. Watson Brown was year one, and Watson Brown was good. Was friggin' phenomenal. He really was. I mean,
he left to go to UAB then, right?
UAB.
Rice.
If I'm not mistaken, he got the first $1 million a year contract.
Oh,
I am not mistaken. That's what they did to get him.
Yeah, he was an up and comer.
He definitely was. And then obviously Mac Brown's brother is who that is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
I did not put that together.
Texas and North Carolina. That's
Oh, sure.
The older brother is the one that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
How about that?
Wow.
So he was the king in the household.
Wow, that's crazy.
Impressive.
That's another good little tidbit there. And what about favorite coach or teacher?
Jeez. Sanders and center. You got to. I mean, obviously, when you're a little bit younger and you had. I had more time dealing with center than I did Sanders.
Yeah.
Sanders absolutely loved. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Both were great. But I had a couple of years
With center.
with Mike.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved him.
What about teacher?
Teacher? We went to class. Is that what those?
That's what those doorways were. That's what this.
He just flew in for games all the way from Yellow Glen.
Quite honestly, probably. This is going to shock the world, but it was probably Mrs. Straub.
Okay.
It really was. And the reason was, so Bill was in our class.
Yeah.
And obviously it's kind of hard when your mom's a teacher and you got to deal with these idiots.
Right.
We all were. So Doug Wise pops off, man, your mom's a witch. I can't believe she's acting like that to me. The next day she walks in, sets a broom next to his desk and goes up and teaches a class. And
That's
floor rolling. I mean, I really am.
That's great. She was tough.
She was tough.
tough.
You had to be on your toes.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
her too.
She was tough.
Yeah.
She made me go up and do a speech on Christopher Marlowe. I'll never forget that. Don't even know who the hell that is, but some poet or something.
Oh, man. How painful is that?
Yeah, that was bad.
That's a good one. That's a good one to have.
Jim Neiman was an absolute.
Yeah, he's been brought up a couple times.
Yeah.
He was awesome. Actually, he'd roll the ball out, and that was the Jim Thrush way of doing things too. But Neiman would roll the ball out to a group of everybody and goes, "Come on, me and you, let's go."
Yeah.
We'd go battle one-on-one.
Is that right?
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
And I loved him, but he'd light me up a little bit too. I probably shouldn't say. I think he started a new. You know how when you get a report card, you get A, B, C, D, E, F, or whatever the heck it is, and then you get 1-1 or 1-2, or needs to participate more, or I don't know, loses concentration here and there. And then he had 99 next to mine. And I'm just like, what the hell is that? And he goes, handwritten in there was language inappropriate for classroom setting.
That's not surprising.
You go out and you're we're I think Ultimate Frisbee was the start of that craze, and we're going to go play Ultimate Frisbee, and I'd throw one and it'd go a million miles and then person to drop it. I'm like, what? So I was like, you need to.
That's funny.
Now, boys.
That's great.
He was.
I can hear
awesome
him
too. There was a lot of them that really were. There's never ending list. I never had the opportunity to have Stowe. Never had the opportunity to have Andy Wolf, who I've heard a ton about.
Right.
Yep.
Never had him once.
Did you have Grooms? Did you have Grooms?
Roger
Never
Grooms.
had him either.
I loved him. Man. He was great.
That would have been. I mean, that would have been a phenomenal class. I mean, what did we have? Tammy Evans and
Miss Evans.
Whatever. You got to play baby games or whatever the heck that was. Family
marriage.
And I was like, am I seriously here to do this too?
Are you really my wife?
It was like, and I forget what the hell role I had. It was like, you get to be the great uncle or something. Like, that's perfect for me. I'll be over here sleeping.
That's awesome.
Get as many study halls in as you can.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, no, Shaun, we really appreciate you taking the time. It's been awesome catching up. And a good thing for me is I get to see you during football season every year, so we can catch up and talk about, because these guys always talk about Anderson football. We always try to catch up when the season's going on. And so, but I really appreciate taking time to join us here.
Again, I appreciate it. Appreciate what you guys do. Really do. It isn't enough. I mean,
we appreciate that, man. It's awesome. No, we appreciate it, and we're glad we finally got you on, man. So it's awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. So for Steve Ellis, Dan Evers, and Shaun Burdick, you've been listening to This Week in Anderson. We'll catch you next week.